Hola amigos, ¿cómo están? I'm Aldaman86 and today we're going to be talking about Chivas and their huge win at home against FC Juarez. So we're going to go straight into it. Obviously we won 2-1, which is absolutely amazing. Should have been 2-0, I think. Go straight into it. So in the first half, Pollo Briseño, of all players, comes in and scores a really good goal from a corner, which is great. But on Briseño, like everyone's like a bit iffy on Briseño. He's definitely one of the most fiery players that we have in terms of character. Some people love it, some people don't love it. Obviously, with injuries and stuff, we've had to bring him in. And I remember tweeting at the end, my mate actually said, "Oh, mate, Pollo scares me," because he had a bit of an iffy first half of the first half, should we say? And I said to him, I said, "Oh, mate, Pollo scares me," and literally about 2 3 minutes after I said that, he goes and scores. So it's just one of those funny things where I say something and something happens. Really happy for him though. I'm happy with him being at the club. Obviously, he is a bit of a risk in terms of he's the kind of player that could talk himself into a yellow card, and he's a little bit rash at times. But I think he's a decent centre back, and at the moment we need all the centre backs we can get. We've got a couple of youngsters out injured at the moment, so it's really good that he stepped up and scoring. You always want your centre back scoring goals, especially from corners, so that was really good to see from him. We looked like we controlled. I mean, that first half we controlled that the whole game for me, in my opinion. Whereas we're just sitting back to the typical. They were the typical away team, really. They were sat back, really compact. I mean, they've had a really terrible start to the season. They shouldn't be in Liga MX. There should be a secondary league because they would be in it, in my opinion. No, maybe I'll say no disrespect to Warriors, but it is a little bit disrespectful. But at the same time, it's like, it is what it is. Like, they played like a team that bottom of the league, trying to get a kind of point, hitting us on the counter. It was so horrible to what I hate teams coming to my home and then just sitting back, and we've struggled a little bit in terms of creating chances, having shots that really trouble goalkeepers. Something like, oh no, this has got a 0-0 or a freak 1-0 loss written all over it. But then Pollo gets his goal and it's like, okay, cool, because now Juarez has to attack because they have to get a goal to draw the game. So it opened up the game a little bit more, especially in the second half. The first half it was all defensive from Juarez, and it was a little bit difficult to break them down. We obviously didn't break them down in open play, and we needed a set piece brilliance to beat them and get the goal. So going into half time 1-0 was really good, and hopefully we can take a lot of lessons from that first half, because I think we still need to work on our finishing and our chance creations, and trying to break down defenses a little bit more, because I think a lot of teams are going to be playing the way Juarez played against us, especially when they come to the Aquan. So going into the second half, I'm thinking, okay, we probably do need another goal, because I just had a feeling Juarez was going to somehow BS their way into a goal. And then the captain, man, to be fair, Pocho scored the goal, and it was a really good goal, and all credit to him. He scored again. He's been scoring a lot lately. But it was all Cal. It was all Kate Cal. He had a really good shot, and the goalkeeper had to do a really good save to save it, but obviously he parried it straight to Pocho. Pocho's definitely not going to miss from 5 yards out. It was really good to watch, actually. It was a really good team goal, in my opinion, and the way they celebrated was awesome. And obviously the whole thing about K being a cowboy and stuff, it was really cool. And you could the celebration in particular between Pocho and K Cow and the team. I just noticed that there's a real togetherness in the squad at the moment. I don't know whether it's because players have left. I don't know whether it's just I don't know whether Gargo's kind of found a way to generate that kind of togetherness in a way that Paolo couldn't. Similar to how at Arsenal, where Emery didn't really win the dressing room over. There was no togetherness in the team. It was more like we were relying on a couple of superstars to get us through. Whereas Arteta's come in and he's generated a real. You can feel it. You can feel it at Arsenal where all the players are together and they love each other and they'll die for each other. And it's, I felt that with Chivas, especially when they were celebrating the second goal. I thought, you know what, I think the team's doing well. This is our fourth win in a row. But it's also, the team feels different. It feels a bit better. And it just came out for like a few seconds when they were celebrating that goal. When Pocho had Kane on his back and Mozo as well, and all the other players and all the subs and stuff. It just, for a few seconds, it just felt like, wow, I think this team is really together. So yeah, it was brilliant. It was dominant. It should have been 2-0. We dominated this game completely. So Paul Ritter, I've got to speak about him, I guess. Obviously we signed him from LA Galaxy, and yeah, he was on the pitch. He came off for his debut. He was on the pitch for about 4 minutes, and he got sent off. Bit harsh. I'm not going to complain too much about it though. If you're going to have a high boot and hit someone in the head, you've got to at least go, well, there's a real chance he's going to get sent off. It's kind of dangerous play. Even though he wasn't looking at the play, I don't think he had any idea the player was there. He was just trying to clear the ball away, and suddenly someone's head's on his foot. So it's a little bit harsh. I think a yellow card could have been doable. But VAR was always going to overturn it because I don't know. I just had a real sense that the officials really, really wanted Juarez to get something out of this game. Probably my bias. I mean, I don't think it's a real conspiracy or anything. I think it's just me being me. But I don't know. It felt like they really, really wanted to help Juarez get on the front foot, because the Juarez was just terrible in this entire game. I call it terrorism football for a reason, because it was just anti-football really. But if you're at the bottom of the table and you've got like 3 points, you're gonna have to do what you're gonna do, I guess. So then he gets sent off. You're thinking, okay, cool, that's that was going to blatant, because of the VAR check. I knew there was going to be at least 5 or 6 minutes in extra time. So I'm thinking, okay, that's going to be like 10 minutes now, where we're going to be a man down. They could still come back and score at least 1 goal, maybe even 2, But the team held it together really well, actually. It got to the last minute, I think it was like the 96th, 97th minute, and they go get a penalty. I think the penalty is the one that was soft, in my opinion. I'm much more agreeable with the red card. It was just one of those things. No malice behind it or anything, but I can understand why it was given. That's the thing. If I can understand something, then it doesn't piss me off. So I can understand why the red was given. I don't really understand the penalty. The penalty is so soft. But that's when I was like, okay, this is it. This is the bit that I've been looking for this entire game, where Juarez is going to get something dodgy in their favour. They get a penalty. Zaldivar, of all people, scores it. He doesn't celebrate too much, to be honest with you. Credit to him. I was half expecting him to just run down the touchline and do a knee slide, but he didn't, which is cool. But I'm thinking, whatever. It is. The clean sheet would have been great, because I'm absolutely in love with Rangel. I think he's an absolutely outstanding goalkeeper at such a young age. I think he's having a really good season, and it sucks that he didn't get a clean sheet. He deserved a clean sheet. The whole defensive line deserved a clean sheet. It's just one of those things. But at the end of the day, at this point in the season, the 3 points is what matters. So yeah, 4 wins on the bounce now. I think so we're 6th now, which is great. Obviously, 4 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw is actually pretty decent. Like I said in the previous video, Gago it took a minute for him to get a grip on the game, on the team. Sorry, and we had a loss and a draw in the first 2 games, which isn't great, but obviously we've kind of turned a corner now. He's in the cup, we went to Canada and won the game there, so technically it's 3 wins in the bounce in the league, but still, it's great. That's good. Moving forward a little bit now, kind of turned the corner, and it's great. In 6th position on a bit of a decent run. You can see us jumping up a couple more spaces. I don't know. I think first is out of the question now, barring a massive turnaround. But I'll be happy with 4th. I'll be happy with 3rd. But it is what it is. We just got to be in the gear spots comfortably, and we're getting there at the moment. So yeah, I'm really happy at the moment. Really happy with the result. Really happy with the team. Hill's doing brilliantly. Pocho stepped up to the max. I want to talk about Pocho for a second because not only is he scored in a couple of games now, he's a captain undeniably, but he also did a podcast which I'm sure um, many of you watched already. He did a podcast with, I assume, some of his friends. I think he was helping them out with their channel, and I watched it with obviously English subtitles because my Spanish is just horrific. It's getting better, but it's still horrific. Especially talking. Like if it was written, I can understand writing and reading and writing Spanish better than I can speak it. So what's with the translation? So I didn't get the translation 100% right. Obviously, it was on YouTube as well. So YouTube translated is not the greatest. Sorry, but yeah, the overall gist. He talked about a lot of things. Talked about being a professional footballer. Talked about being captain. He talked about last season. He talked about Paunovic. And obviously, they were going to ask him like, "Did you hit Paunovic?" Blah blah blah. And he's like, "No. He had nothing to do with it." So, and remember at the time. I remember at the time, I thinking that, mate, like, there's no way in hell he's actually physically punched Paunovic or whatever. They may have had arguments. They may have. I don't even think they argued. I mean, he came out and said, "I have nothing but respect for him. Wishes him all the best." There was no altercations. There was no arguments or anything like that. So it's just rumors, man. It's another lesson in terms of Mexican media and social media as well. There's a load of people saying, "Oh, he's punched him. He's gonna go. He's gonna leave." It kind of coincided with the fact that like Panovic's eyebrow thing kind of coincided with the fact that he dropped Pocho inexplicably. Um, and I remember saying I think he dropped him in the final as well. Um, did play him in the first round, I don't think. I don't think he scored in the second round. Um, and I remember tweeting like I don't want Paunovic because there was rumors about Paunovic leaving after that season had ended before he actually did announce that he was leaving. And I tweeted out said I don't want him to leave, but not starting Pocho in the final is a sackable offence in my opinion. Like Pocho is a brilliant player. Some people judge him on his goals. I don't judge him on his goals. I judge him on his leadership. He's an absolute leader. Like you can just tell, and he's someone that even I would follow. I'd follow. I'd follow Pocho. I'd do whatever he told me to do, if I was on the pitch. And I'm sure the other teams, other players like that as well. He's talked about Alan Mozo and how they didn't really get on for a little while, but they absolutely love each other now. They're like best friends. There was like a meme going out yesterday about there was a picture of Mozo looking at Pocho carrying K Cow after they're celebrating after the goal, and it's just like when it's in Spanish obviously, but it's like when your best friend has another friend. It's so funny. It's so awesome. So yeah, I mean it's really cool. I can't imagine anyone having a bad word against Pocho. He's absolutely my favorite player at Chivas right now. Alan Mozo as well, but in a different way. Alan Mozo is a little bit more of the entertainer, a bit like a clown. It's so funny to watch. And you don't need to speak Spanish or learn Spanish to understand how funny he is. But Pocho's the leader. He's the captain. He was also asked about, would you give up the captaincy for Chicharito? And apparently he's spoken to Chich about it. And I don't. I don't think. I think he understands that he can't really say no to Cheech. I think he probably could say no to anyone else. I mean, anyone else has come in and said, "Hey, I want the captaincy." I think Pocho would be like, it's mine, mate. But I think Chicharito and he talks about Chich's career in football and stuff and how it speaks for itself. Um, so whether they share it, I think Pocho should stay as captain and have Cheech as vice captain. Have Cheech playing as captain if Pocho's not on the field. I think that might be a nice way to do it. But yeah, I mean, it was a really illuminating interview. Actually, it's, talking about his family, talking about mental health as well. The fact that even footballers who have all this money, um, people think that money fixes everything and money makes you happy, but there's other issues, there's other problems. There's family you got to take care of and things like that. So it was really illuminating. It was a really nice interview, and he obviously talked about he gained weight because it was a little bit of a comfortable moment, and let himself go a little bit, and he looked directly at the camera and said, Chivo Romano's like, I'm fixing it, and I've already lost weight. I'm back mentally. I think it was probably when Paulo wasn't playing him. Maybe that was the reason why Paulo wasn't playing him, because he put on weight and stuff. But physically, I think Pocho looks in really good shape right now. He looks built as so. Yeah, it's great, and it's good to see that they care about the fans, and how the fans perceive them, and it's illuminating as well how often us as fans kind of have no idea what's going on in the background in a player's life. So it's a bit, it made me think about Vega a lot. He talked about Vega as well when he was talking about Panovic, how I think there's a little bit of saltiness, in my opinion. I don't think Pocho wanted Vega to leave. I think they're all friends, so that might be it. But I think there's a little bit of saltiness there. I think he was much more, I think, okay with Paulo leaving than Vega was. That's just from my own interpretation of how he was talking, and the translation and stuff. But my opinion is, I don't think he was that happy that Vega left. But wishes him well, and that saga's over. Maybe Vega's absence is what's making the team so together now. Maybe there's no toxic behind the scenes. There's no drama now, hopefully, for a while. So we can concentrate on the football. So, yeah, I just wanted to go into that a little bit because I thought it was really interesting, and I love Pocho as well. So any chance to watch him, do a podcast and stuff. Because I don't think he does many, so it was good to see. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments, and I'll post a link in the descriptions, because it's a really decent watch, especially if you're fluent in Spanish. You'll probably understand it way more than I did. But it was really good to watch, and obviously he followed it up. Followed his words up. Like I'm putting the work in. I've lost weight. I'm losing weight. I'm concentrating. I'm working hard. We're all working hard, and they showed it on the pitch a couple of days later. So. Yeah, it's really good. We're in a good way in the form right now, so long may it continue. I'll be back next week. I think it's next weekend, so I'll be back next weekend for the next game. I think we've got another game against Forge at home in midweek, so I probably won't do a video for that. I'll probably encompass that game into the next Liga MX game. So yeah, thank you guys. See you guys next weekend, sorry, and have a really good week, and enjoy the winnings and the feeling, and you never know what's going to happen, so enjoy the wins while you can. Celebrate, don't let anyone tell you can't celebrate, and yeah, I'll see you guys next week, and take it easy, guys. Adios.